time. He does this every day, man.
Why are you embedding him? Just keep embedding,
I don't know,
like,
bro. Man.
Go. One more to go.
Welcome everybody to Onward VR Master League here too. I am Grenade Magnet. We are here for a Wednesday night of Onward. We have myself here on VRML 2 tonight, and Cynthia on VRML 3, and Nightfire a little later on at 1. I'm starting here at 8 o'clock, a little after 8 due to some tech issues on my side, and they both are starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. So since we are almost about ready, let's hop into the bans here. For Insidious, they have banned Bazaar, and Blackwatch, they have banned Cargo. Now, both of these teams are no stranger to really any map here, as they've been around for quite some time. Insidious actually was a reform from last season with some team members from various different locations and skill levels. And I know several members on Blackwatch have been around for quite some time as well. I don't remember off the top of my head their history though. But they are nonetheless very experienced. Blackwatch is currently 9th right now in North America, while Insidious is 14th. So both teams are diamonds. Blackwatch right on the cusp of that master tier there. So 1 or 2 more matches here, as we are in week 14. We do have 1 more week of matches still here in the regular season before we take, I believe, 1 week break off from scheduled matches and then jump into playoffs. So we have a pretty good lineup tonight, I think, here. Insidious has Texas, Golden Viking, K-Hunter, Rambo, and we're waiting on their 5th. While Blackwatch has J Welch, Paradox, HD, Cash Crazy, Nomad, and Brandon J 1S. Now, I think personally we are going to be in for a capping kind of a night, because as I was getting ready and then briefly faced some tech issues, I saw Texas was in the capping practice match for probably about 10 minutes. So I think we're going to see a little bit of that refresh come out here tonight, while we start off with them on home. And as you can see on the scoreboard, we are starting off on Suburbia. And looking at the roster, we do have Murder Cult, who did just join. There probably was some lobby issues there, as we have been seeing that a little bit more recently with this version of Onward. Not being able to get in the lobby quick and easily. You kind of have to either do some trickery with filters or restart your game or do a full rehost. So we should be starting here momentarily. And let me take a look at the rankings on Suburbia. While they're not 100% a prediction as to what's going to happen tonight, they are a good little indicator of how the teams have played on them so far in the season. Suburbia for Insidious is 4-2, while Blackwatch is, where'd it go? I just saw it. Suburbia is 5-1. So not the strongest map on Insidious, considering that their scores are more favored towards the open maps such as Quarantine and Snoke Peak. But we'll see how things go. We're gonna jump right on into things here, and starting off in the South Volk house for the uplink.
Let me get inside you, please. Please. Not even me. I just want to be inside you, Welch. That's all.
Early shots off from the free fire lane here from Texas, and K-Hunter trying to get that little bit of a lane that they can on the spawn there. Nothing seemed to connect over here just yet, but let's take a quick peek as to what Blackwatch has set up here. One covering lane 2. One in the center house, 2 in the back house, and 1 off to the side on burning building. And it looks like we're seeing a 3-2 split with 1 holding way off in the back on the road. Texas coming up here on Paradox. And Nomad. Nomad's not going to peek out this window yet. But we may see a little bit of that coming right up here. Texas looking for that longer angle. Hugging that wall very wisely, as Nomad could easily look out this window and get that, but Paradox and Texas calling each other out there. Flashbang over the sandbags does get him, and a quick emergency smoke. Keeping that head down is going to help him out with that recovery and the flashbang there, and we're going to have some action over here from the playground. The murder cult getting that slide. Seeing lots of audio call-outs, saying where people are before we even engage. They're definitely listening in on those audio cues. Jay Welch with the small little angle getting that pick off from the burning building here, leaving K Hunter alone on this push. Frag grenade was not effective for it. We just briefly heard from the back here from Jay Welch. They are a 2-3 right now, with 1 smoke on the uplink, but nothing around here just yet. Looks like Texas might have had a really good throw there, but I think Insidious knows basically where everybody is.
I've got 1 covered.
Nice and quiet and stealthy for K Hunter, looking for this kill to pin Brandon in the corner. Not paying attention to that angle. Uh-oh. Quick reload from K Hunter. This is going to be critical. And with that, we have 1 left, and it looks like Texas and Rambo are going to be starting to push for this cap here. Texas charging on in past the doorway, past Jay Welch. They can cap through the wall. They're not going to realize that this is going to be done. Jay Welch entirely smoked out, with Texas tablet out, fresh off cap practice, is going to get this code here with a little bit longer of a delay than I expect that they are satisfied with. But the rest of the team is going to hold off while this code gets punched in. And Insidious off to a great start on their map pick with Suburbia here. So, a lot of good audio call-outs from them, listening to where everybody was through the approach there. And I think that helped them pin down where exactly they needed to maneuver, despite losing to 1 key player on the slide, who was the push with K Hunter. And they did get the audio cue for the front porch of burning building. And the last one they knew was going to be hanging around the uplink. I don't think there was an audio call out for that one, but overall, Insidious had a really, really good strong push on that, and leading this off to an excellent start with already half the points taken in the first round. So let's see how Blackwatch returns with their turn on Marsoc, and them being relatively weaker statistic-wise on here, with a 5-1, but nonetheless they could indeed eliminate enough of the Volk to actually get in and get that cap there as well. This one is a more difficult one to get up towards once you hit the middle of the map, so we'll have to keep an eye on how that kind of plays out for them. Here's round 2.
Yeah, you got it. Good job.
Y'all know I'm not a capper.
Hey, you still got it. So, good job. Okay.
Each for MVP. Somewhere else, tell us.
Yeah.
Texas watching real low on this angle, not even leaving the building. Rambo was checking the lane 1 over here. Looks like they were gonna back off from there though. Blackwatch clearly holding back a little bit longer on this push instead of going right on in on those hedges. Nomad's not going to see anything down here so far, despite Insidious pulling the majority of the middle.
One mic, lane 1, their spawn. One mic, lane 1, behind Tesco's.
Hey Hunter with the PKM utilizing all that ammo that they have there. 900 rounds in total. Definitely useful for pre-firing and spamming a lot of the later cross angles. Hasn't picked anybody up just yet with it, but they may get one through if they actually shot over in the playground area. It might pick up Paradox as they're moving about a little bit more. Sporting the MCX, which is a very popular one, I think, for the points the higher teams have been using.
What'd you see? Where you shooting at?
Did you clear playground already?
Yeah, playground's cleared well, for the most part.
Completely? How about this Tesco's right here? Like I thought I heard some footsteps.
No, go check them.
Good call on the audio there. At least ensure that they're clear as they push this playground. Blackwatch taking this slow and methodical, very, very different approach than what Insidious had done.
How many? We got it.
Baywatch identifying Golden Viking crossing through that window.
Second story, C2 middle building.
I don't think Golden's going to re-peek that though. I think they're going to stay relatively tucked back after that one. And with 3 minutes remaining, the first member of Blackwatch is only, well, now confirmed. Nomad taking Rambo out as they were crossing around in lane 2 here. Gonna make this an even playing field for the push in, with Brandon getting a smoke out on the striker to start pre-firing this area. At least getting a little bit more attention on them coming through.
43 over.
But K-Hunter's got this angle here. Brandon's gonna have to really watch this.
One.
And Jay Welch also following in the same footsteps. This may turn very, very deadly for them. Meanwhile, Nomad has taken over the center building there, giving them a key piece of terrain to get visibility in on this uplink here. Texas might be able to hit Jay Welch. Looks like they're set up for more of the leftern side
Where do I need to rotate
of the the striker there. I think the last minute here we're gonna see a lot of slower progression from Nomad and Jay Welch, just trying to surgically remove these two from very clearly known the back house. See if he's got another smoke there. It doesn't look like it. Texas taking a quick shot at Jay Welch here, at least exposing where they are first floor there. But now this is a 1-2 with this smoke soon expiring here. $50 seconds remaining. Blackwatch is going to have to pull something off real quick, or Insidious gets his kill. Insidious just clearly showing their strength on Suburbia here, and projecting the fact that they're going to dominate this first map with very, very clearly sound strats. A couple of new angles that we may not have seen before, particularly with Texas holding down the first floor and just really watching that left-hand cross on the APC on the left half of the map there. And then K-Hunter doing at least a good amount of suppression fire to kind of keep the heads down of Blackwatch, maybe slow the progression down a little bit, even though they did take it very, very slowly to begin with. But once they cross the hedges, you're really more exposed to all of that suppressive fire from the PKM. It can be pretty effective. You can get a couple of kills with that, but it usually helps with just kind of creating a little bit more of that chaos and keeping tabs on those 2 or 3 different locations to ensure that nobody's coming through directly. And if they are, they're going to have a little bit of a headache kind of crossing through all that lead. So, for round number 3, we are on the Northwest Humvee.
They may pre-fire us, boys. Be careful. This is our land.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lasers.
You're right, buddy.
Sorry about forgetting those there. We have lots of pre-fire as returned from Insidious. Nomad able to at least get on the uplink and meet halfway on the hedges there with a C4. Very well placed for a late round click there. Let's check out how Marsoc is taking care of this approach here. K-Hunter still providing lots and lots of suppressive fire there. And
Rambo,
Texas controlling
There's a guy, lane 1 front porch. He just blew a C4 unless he's lane 2
controlling
front porch.
the center house here. Gonna get a little bit of intel out as to where Paradox and Nomad possibly are there.
I hear it. It's hilarious.
What a sick player.
I don't know why I can't cross out that window. Let's come back over the uplink then. There goes the C4 without grabbing anybody here. Rambo with the smoke and then a quick redeploy over on the opposite side, looking for Brandon or Paradox. Frag grenade is gonna go a little bit far there, but Paradox ultimately called out and blind to all of the approach here. Texas can get that confirm off with this angle here, unless they're just going to shoot through the hedges. But they may do a quick peek there. Rainbow's going to clean that up in the end of it all. Lots and lots of fire coming out from Insidious. Just picking apart Blackwatch one by one here. 2 versus 4 with Jay Welch on a later angle. And Brandon at least getting the down on the uplink. Going to protect this with a bit of that last second kind of a approach there. With Texas and Golden Viking coming back around. Texas might be looking this direction for that, and Jay Welch getting punished for charging right on out in the open on that lane there. Let's see. Uh-oh. Brandon with an emergency reload. Texas with the tablet out again gets downed. Saves the day, but Insidious still take the round due to the numbers. Watching all of the uplink. And that was a very quick first map. So Insidious just dominating Suburbia with lots of the pre-fire and pushes in a strong group with a 3-1, I believe it was, on the playground there, approaching in from the bus. Was very, very well done, and it was able to at least pick off Blackwatch little by little halfway through that round. We're gonna go into quarantine. Looks like Insidious did drop one, so we may have a little bit of a delay here compared to what we had previously. So, quarantine, check the stats real quick here. Blackwatch, being as this was their choice, is 5-4, while Insidious is 4-4. Insidious has 16 out of 21 rounds captured, while Blackwatch has 21 of 28. So we might still see some more capping action here. We are starting off inside the airplane, so there are some good capping potential angles, particularly between the building and the fuselage. If you get right on up in there, you can hit that. And then, of course, you have to be a little bit outside the doorway and directly in the light, but you can indeed get in and get a good cap on this, as long as you ensure that you're single, or I guess multiple, depending on how Insidious wants to, Blackwatch, I'm sorry, as they are now, Marsoc wants to play this. Could go for a little bit of a stealthy run, or they could go for a direct on approach through the fuselage and in. Which, by the way, I just noticed there are no passenger seats around in this plane. This must have been a cargo plane. But anyway, we are still waiting on one for Insidious to pop back in. It's not Murder Cult this time, so looks like you're gonna have just another few minutes here. while we are waiting, let's do a quick shout out to the sponsors. ProTube VR, HyperX, as you can probably barely see in my camera view. The same microphone I believe Nightfire has. Recommended me this one when we first started casting. Demonstrate the mute. And that it's a very good microphone. It's been serving me well so far. And we had a substitute come on in, a one Rick Sanchez. So this may be a strategic call that they have for one player being dropped due to a lack of comfort on the map, or just better skill ranges overall on quarantine. We'll see how they do. Quick peek on the streets. Not going to see anything just yet, but they are going to run into 2 on the hospital. And K-Hunter getting a quick kill with a headshot on J Welch as they were approaching out in the open, pushing through on the hospital very, very quickly. It's going to slow Brandon down a little bit here. Not going to see much from K-Hunter just yet. We will take a quick peek, check back in later on. Let's pop over to how Marsoc is doing. With the 2 in the north, it is Nomad and Paradox. Checking out the catwalks and a few other places here, looking at AC and all the way in the back in case somebody tries to loop around.
I'm at tank.
Not going to encounter anybody just yet. They're clearly starting to check the 3-story on the airplane crash. I think Texas might think he's seeing somebody over there. I mean, Cash Crazy is nearby, but they're nowhere near where his angle was just shooting at. I think we just grabbed a quick note on the pre-fire there.
Yeah, there's
And
definitely someone over in impact somewhere, so watch yourself north.
Cash is checking out the small little angle they can see here. Well, they are going to back off and go the opposite direction for safety. It is definitely a more difficult approach numbers-wise, looking at the overhead. Centered around the uplink and on the south. Blackwatch doing a little bit slow of a pace, so they are trying to be time conscious here with 3 minutes remaining. They are only halfway on the map with 1 down, and Insidious still at 5.
I think I may have seen one at the wall at the capping point of gas station garage OBJ.
Murder call. Hearing
They just called out
Nomad
AC.
from all the way over here, getting that call out. Very, very good ears. Headsets
Yeah,
on
listening.
the Quest
There's one at the Fuselage.
are pretty good if you have a good headset. You can hear a whole lot more
Gas station garage is dead.
than say with like a $50 or an $80 headset. With that little bit of an exchange, we're seeing the entire southern approach more open, but still very, very locked down on the uplink itself.
I land short.
Nomad clearly not very happy with where exactly that was landing. Might be out of utility there. Let's take a look into the vest here because the smoke would help them out a lot. Yeah, it looks like they're out with a quick glimpse. 90-second call out. Blackwatch with 3 is going to have to really push this.
Plane tucked in that little nook, looking towards north.
It sounds like they know where just about everybody is. Maybe not Golden Viking. Cash looking just to hold off on this engagement with Murder Cult unless he's got a better angle on it, but ultimately going to have to face either Murder Cult or Rick Sanchez, who's still holding that back angle.
I got the backside covered.
Down goes Murder Cult, and C4 exploding does not catch anybody.
I'm down.
I got one inside. He's only down though. He's calling
There's one
in.
coming up from below AC.
And
Towards
we have 2 people with the trade down. 1 call out on AC coming in. Texas is going to engage Nomad with a trade. Blackwatch wins. Cash Crazy, the last one alive. Gonna clean up that last trade there. Very well pushed in the last 30 seconds with Blackwatch crashing in directly on the uplink. Very, very well done. Slow, methodical, as we saw with Suburbia. Wasn't too keen on rushing right on in. Really wanted to check all those little nooks and crannies and try to clear out as much as the mid map point before they actually got there. Because if you control the middle of the map, generally you have more flexibility as to how you can rotate around, maybe get somebody behind the uplink, as I think we were seeing that initial attempt in the impact building. Didn't necessarily work out for them too well. They're going around all the way in the back. May have been a little bit better of a play, but albeit more dangerous and not towards the uplink immediately there. But in the end, Blackwatch does take that round. And only 22 seconds remaining. Now, since this is a little bit bigger of a map, Insidious does have the track record of Snow Peak and Quarantine favorites with 100% wins on each one. I'm expecting to see a strong dominating kind of a round out of them with how they want to maneuver the team coming in on towards the middle of the map.
Hey, Texas,
Let's-
still want to run it?
Yeah, we're going. For second, 30, 64.
They do have more of a quicker spawn, but they are going to run across the streets while they have the opportunity. Nobody from Volk is watching it, so they are safe in that regards. And Murder Cult checking out the AC building with 1 down. Looks like it's Nomad based on that small font nearby it, but looks like we're gonna see a little bit of a delayed kind of a shot here.
I didn't catch any of that.
Alright, so Cash Crazy is holding this angle. He is checking hospital. Probably going to see something here in a second. Murder Cult does slow down just enough, and head peek.
Yeah, we're over here in the west.
Cash does not get that shot out initially there, but the flashbang may have connected as Murder Cult does go down and take a knee.
He's by propane tanks, hospital.
Oh, sounded like it was botched a little bit, but it still makes it all the way over and connects. The south push is called, but that is not going to be 100% accurate here. Nomad, let's check out their angle as they just take down 2 in the north out of, I'm sorry, 1 in the north.
I'm rotating back.
2 in the north, actually, it was 2. Not ready for Golden Viking with that shot coming around. And that's going to leave the north pretty well open. We do have one more Volk that was downed over this way. Catch Crazy getting pincered at this rate. With Golden Viking coming around on the opposite side. And K-Hunter wrapping all the way back around. Looks like they're going to pull off for that frag grenade. That was pretty well thrown. But this does leave them a little bit more exposed to Golden Viking. Communication has been very, very effective here in letting both Insidious and Blackwatch know where everybody is, so I'm expecting Golden Viking to at least check this again after passing by the nose of the airplane. Cash Crazy with 3 around them is very, very difficult spot. Like Brandon
those oxygen tanks by hospital.
Seeing a bit of a glimpse on Murder Cult, but not being able to connect does give their position away, but it's at least a farther back one. This appears to be more of a distraction, kind of a smoke after Murder Cult has been identified not once but twice in the same spot here. Oh, and a frag grenade from K-Hunter does get Cash downed. Able to get the call out still.
Yeah, they're hitting hard from center.
Gonna duck underneath Jay Welch's laser there and pull back towards the street. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. Insidious is gonna have to make up their mind as to how they want to do this. There are 2 Volk still remaining on the uplink, with Cash Crazy only downed, able to give these callouts as to where they're going. Is going to be very, very critical for success on Blackwatch's part. Ooh, quick little miss here on Jay Welch. And a trade in the end of it all. Golden Viking coming up from behind. We're gonna see a little bit of a surprise here on Jay Welch. And Insidious returns the favor with a capping position, but maybe not a fully accurate kill count for that to maybe let them pass by or go from a front of the airplane approach in. So Insidious took a similar route with methodology and waiting until the last minute to actually push all the way in on the uplink. So we're probably going to see a similar playstyle for each of these teams. Maybe we'll get a cap slipped in here, but so far it looks like we may see a trade of rounds back and forth. With that, we are in on the gas station, and apartments. And kind of judging on how, I think it was Insidious who was pushing more mid-map on Suburbia, we may see a bit more aggression on the Volk side. Maybe somebody actually holding center burning building or the rubble around. Maybe tank courtyard. Let's get back into the gameplay and check out how round number 3 is going to turn out.
They can cap on the side. Remember that.
Alright, Murder said you got that covered. Thanks.
We'll get that. We'll make sure we watch that side.
Little reminder of capping on the side of the building as Murder Cult and Texas are pushing in on the hospital relatively aggressively, and Rick is holding back for a bit of a later angle. Texas going all the way up. Free fire from K-Hunter doesn't grab one. They may have
made it through the cross far back.
There's the call out.
That was the dude up there, right?
Yeah, it was a dude. There's definitely one crash, second story.
And a quick peek at the mini-map. Seeing Blackwatch taking a 2-2-1 with Volk having a good square around the uplink on the north and south approaches. But we do have one all the way out on the impact building again. See, that is Golden Viking. Nomad and Paradox are probably not going to be expecting this kind of an angle. If Nomad stands up, Golden Viking may just be able to peek around and grab this kill. Still checking out all the angles for anybody peeking out here. Nothing's gonna get seen on Nomad's front here, though, unless they come back and check down this alley. Looks like same lot of one smoke and a frag grenade again. Picking up Paradox all the way in the back here. An MCX with a single smoke.
Kilo 1, sand dunes over.
Confirmed.
Texas with the first blood here as the line of Blackwatch was kind of formed there from a more of a diagonal northern approach. Now broken a little bit more from the south. Texas is not going to see anybody else here in the southern approach. Golden Viking likely to see Nomad. Oh, just barely missed with that little look away there. Jay Welch, knowing that Texas is around, probably suspects that they are indeed in the staircase or on the northern roof. I think that smoke kind of confirms the assumption that we just made there, but ultimately not going to be accurate. Jay Welch approaching these windows out in the open a little bit more. 2 minutes remaining. We're gonna have to see some more of Blackwatch pushing in. There's a stairway check, but Texas is just off the side. Very quick duck on.
Scaffolding rail probably coming to the back.
on Jay Welch's part here. Murder Cult on a little bit of a later angle, not too worried about Jay Welch at this time here, but while Jay Welch is dealing with that, Golden Viking and Paradox are duking it out. And Murder Cult with the pop-up kill does get the confirm, but ultimately loses a little bit more health on that front. Viking clearly worried about two angles here. But Nomad's only downed. This call out is going to be useful to Paradox.
Impact.
Golden Viking's going to pull off after that one. There's the confirm on Nomad, so they're no longer going to have a conversation, but Cash comes in with that call out and does get a headshot in return. 1v3 after Cash is taken out from Texas there. Blackwatch clearly not going to make this. Paradox is just going to hold off and take the round loss. So I don't know if it was a time awareness issue or if they just couldn't get past Golden Viking, as he was a good stopping or slowdown point in the impact building here. They were checking the angles for this in a few different places, but ultimately just not being able to eliminate them until basically it was too late in the round. Did hurt that northern bush to maybe kind of throw off Insidious and Cap from a more of the Volk spawn behind the uplink kind of a situation. So with Insidious now on Marsoc, we're gonna have to see if they take the same kind of approach with time management, or if that just happened to be something that really just slipped away from Blackwatch, as they ultimately couldn't get past the midway point on the map. And let's then continue into round 4. We have a very far approach from Insidious.
Wait till we're done here. Then do that. I mean, unless you play better while you're doing that.
We already did today, so that's checked off for the list.
62, 36, 114. Alright, they'll probably be in plain building.
Clearly the code being briefly memorized here with the majority of the team going north. We're gonna see a very, very different approach defense-wise on Blackwatch's front. And they're gonna probably get caught off guard here. Nomad's the only one in the impact building with a similar kind of a play positioning. I don't think they're going to be ready for a 4-man assault in the north here. That is Murder Cult all the way over by the motel. And the slow methodical kind of a clearing approach here. Night vision is on in case they do need it for those darker corners. First shot's an identification out from Brandon in the west
Still on the far north end.
alley on the far, far north. And while the rest of the team has been pushing up here, Nomad and Golden Viking are directly on top of each other here again. Seems like they have the similar playstyle or mentality
One impact.
with how they're going to approach this, and Nomad does get the quicker return on Golden Viking, with Murder Cult now looking this direction. Texas just below as well. Appear to be wisely holding a more quiet position, letting Nomad kind of have a little bit more of a mental game going on here as to where exactly they are. Oh! Very, very quick snap off of Texas, and Nomad goes down. It seems like that might have been the idea all along, is to let Nomad kind of do a search and destroy, kind of a seeking, but ultimately be the one to give away their position with the movement.
Back scaffolding, over. That's
Scratch one on impact.
It looks like Blackwatch has finally caught on that they are indeed getting a northern push here, but Murder Cult's still kind of hanging out off of the center courtyard regions. Maybe gonna throw a little bit of a late ball. Two minutes, 20 seconds remaining, and 3/4 of the map has been covered, but Murder Cult's got a lot of catching up to do here. Two lasers focusing on Texas, and he's been behind the barricades here. This is not good for their positioning and trying to break out of here. If both lasers would look back here again. Uh-oh. Cash Crazy getting a little bit antsy with that frag grenade. And Texas out in the open, a little bit more comfortable, but Paradox does grab both Rick and Texas at the same time. It was only a couple of bullets away from each other there. We're gonna see the lone Insidious member coming in from the hospital, with Paradox able to get that kind of a later cross angle, and Jay Welch still holding directly nearby, with visibility on 3/4 of the uplink. And I think Paradox was supposed to hold the opposite angle, but they're going to start returning back in. Unexpecting of Murder Cult to be there. Jay Welch crashes on uplink because of this angle, and they pull it off with 35 seconds remaining. We are at a 2-2 tie map. So the trading of the rounds, as we were discussing before, seems to be the way of the map. I didn't see anything. Well, there was the drop shot off of from Texas onto Nomad there. That was pretty impressive. It was very well thought out of to not move around at all, not try to escape the area, and kind of psych Nomad out a little bit there. And at the same time, Nomad did catch Golden Viking off guard briefly in the early part of the impact building there too. So, I mean, both of those players seem to have a similar pathing to how they like to play Quarantine with approaching the uplink. And it seems like because of the similar strats, we're getting into this kind of a pattern of trading back and forth. Insidious, when they were on Volk, held a 4-person box around the uplink, plus 1 off to the side, and Blackwatch effectively did the same thing, but with just a little bit of a shifted kind of a play style there. Just ever so slightly off compared to the rest of what was done by the opponent.
They're gonna take it on 2 sides. They're gonna go for picks again, so just don't let them do that.
I think that was Viking calling out their strat overall here of a split and going for those initial picks to start it off and then work their way in.
Saw one cut through gas station, at least one.
Hunter does get that call out for gas station, and could have been Brandon or Jay Welch looking for anything over in this area. Not gonna see anything. Not really gonna see anything over here until Murder Cult pokes their head out a little bit farther on this approach from the sand dunes. First round's out, we're cash crazy in towards the tank courtyard looking for Golden
There's one
Viking.
in embassy inside.
Doesn't seem to connect, as we didn't really see Viking pull out the syringe at all. They're gonna pull off the center of the building and kind of retreat back to a last second angle here. Brandon appears to be getting into range with Murder Cult. Smoke kind of makes me think that they actually did already encounter some rounds that way.
Kilo 1 north.
Texas getting Nomad out in the open. Might catch Paradox here as well from either side of the building. Paradox looking to see if they have a bit of an angle on where that frag came from, but Texas is definitely holding a bit more of an unexpected position. Come back here in a second. Let's pop back over to Brandon and Murder Cult with their kind of exchange here. Wisely pulling back into the construction building. Utilizing those shadows a little bit more than Brandon may be able to quickly see without the night vision. Viking with a quick peek. Catch Crazy off guard. Texas and Paradox again. Blackwatch down to 3 players attacking all 5 of Insidious.
Kilo 1 north over.
And just like that, with 2 minutes still remaining, we're down to a 1v5. And looks like we had a disconnect on Blackwatch after that death, too. Brandon clearly aware that somebody is in the area, but not as alert as they probably should be here. Nice quiet approach from Murder Cult, watching for this cross out here. They now know Brandon is behind.
No, I'm not. You've been in here the whole time? Jeez.
I get around.
Oh!
Your friend's dead.
No,
Grabbing
I don't think so.
Golden Viking
No.
from the rotation on them here. Murder
Talk
Cult
to me in person. Come on, man.
All right, come on up.
trying to at least keep Brandon a little bit off his game here, while Texas gets that last angle hit from the motel. Insidious. Very, very well defended. Texas grabbing 2 kills in the northern approach with a little bit of an off-meta kind of a position there. I don't think Nomad knew exactly what happened until it was just a little bit too late, and Paradox may have confirmed that angle as to where Texas was holding. And the vocal games that we just witnessed here definitely helped keep Brandon a little bit off concentration for where exactly the teammates of Insidious were rotating around for that final kill. These guys are very, very on point with style and methodology for how they can play some mind games with each other, and also give that upper hand advantage at the same time, while recognizing that a rotation was coming in from the southeast and southwest with the tablet there. Blackwatch is gonna have to basically lock this down as well. They are able to tie it up if they do effectively hold
Push over to the side so they don't
defense here, but
If you're going to hospital, push hospital.
that's going to put them back onto Marsoc, which they haven't had a great pattern of attacking here and actually winning yet on Quarantine. Looking for this cross. K-Hunter and Murdercult are going to identify and lock down the street. Nobody's crossing that amount of fire, while the rest of the team starts pushing through the airplane and center burning building. Insidious -1 with Jay Welch also watching the other side of the street. They're off to a great start to
Stop free firing. I'm gonna go for it now.
to defend this, but Cash taking that risky move.
I made it. There's definitely a couple coming south.
Fallouts on the approach. He said couple. It does mean 1 or 2 in general practice, but there's only 1 there. Texas and Golden Viking watching a very tight but cross-knitting angle here. Jay Welch is gonna do -1 more, but does give their position away. Texas not going for a frag grenade or anything. We're gonna watch for this peek from Jay Welch again. There it is. And finally shutting down the accuracy of Jay Welch at the longer range here. Not going to see anything for a little bit more until they start crossing out on the street again. Cash Crazy did look this direction really briefly, but I don't know if they're gonna end up getting back on that on this angle that they need to be holding for Texas and Viking to cross. Nomad is able to also assist with this if they pop out onto the stairway.
There's one on the wall over there on the north side.
Where Welch's spot is.
Texas with a great throw.
I've been down.
Actually, looking at how his body is splayed.
I'm stuck here.
Yeah, that was a great throw. It's not a 203 on the bottom of his gun. Viking looking to clear out this angle a little bit more. We're gonna have to do a quick reload.
Stretch one embassy. There's still one in containers. Let me out.
Brandon should be able to cover the other side for Cash while they're looking this angle here, but Murder Cult shortly behind, trying to at least keep Nomad pinned in that window. Maybe get Viking to move a little bit more. There's the res for Brandon. While we have seen a few more pieces of utility coming out, I think they're getting low ultimately. Brandon's gonna peek out this window or this doorway before that smoke ultimately gets thrown behind them. There's the peak that we were talking about on Nomad, but Viking is behind. And Cash Crazy protects Nomad with a good flanking shot there. We are at map point. Shout out to everybody sticking around in chat. This is definitely a great one to catch with how Insidious and Blackwatch are duking it out over a strong map for both of them. I believe we had Nightfire start up a few minutes ago as well. He's gonna have some more higher tier action as well, but we are still here in map number 2 with the final round on Quarantine, and this is going to be a bit of a nail biter. I think we are going to see Blackwatch try to clear out all of Insidious, where they're going to lock down the area approaching into the uplink from all sides. Blackwatch is definitely going to have a harder time getting in on this uplink, especially with the similar playstyles we've seen coming out of Insidious, but also some really great action and ultimately tactical strategy with individual players holding a little bit of a string overheads for various drop shots. We have been seeing a lot of great action here. Let's go see what they're thinking on the final round of Quarantine.
Yeah, probably too risky though. I don't know.
Paradox and I are heading hard south.
Crash. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit farther north, but I'm following you.
I'm gonna go towards Volk.
Because they're going down.
Viking pushing far out, looking to challenge Paradox, and really the majority of the team here. I think they were spotted earlier. And a key early pick here against Blackwatch with only 30 seconds elapsed. Well, there's a trade on that one, but one from Marsoc going all the way out in on AC building. Gonna get a little bit of a visibility shot
on the second floor.
on the hospital. Let's see who this is. This is Brandon. What is he sporting today? 249. Maybe he'll get some suppression fire for the rest of the cross. Jay Welch taking advantage of full VR play space area.
Nomad's down.
Getting this small angle here.
I can't hear you. What?
Hold on. I'm gonna hit some smokes right here. See if we can cut. I'm gonna hit some smokes right here. See if we can cut
Viking just holding the tablet out, looking for how the team is going to play, and maybe catch them off guard. Yeah, here comes the rotation. Paradox is not suspecting this. There's one. Jay Welch is now going to be a little worried about this cross, despite the smokes there. 3-3. 3.5 minutes remaining, and 3's on the board. Murder cult looking for down the street. Not gonna see anything here yet. Take another peek back in on Jay Welch. Now that they know Viking is around. This has really slowed Jay Welch's approach, and very, very strategic on Viking, just playing this nice, quiet angle. Bait them out, let them come through, and then grab the kill in the back. Viking, knowing Welch is out, looks for this quick angle here. And wisely, Welch is looking back behind, trying to get...
Welch and I just got -1.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. A little bit of clipping from Viking. There's the cross, and they trade!
I got one.
He only is downed, though. Very, very quick trigger pulls.
Well, I've killed 2.
Insidious. 1 down, 1 remaining. And Blackwatch with 2. Able to see. It looks like Catchphrase, actually, let's fly back over here. Catchphrase is going to have to come over and confirm this kill to at least get him to stop talking. And now Rick knows where they are, but Brandon's still off to the side here. Able to see directly in.
Brandon, make some noise for me.
A little bit of a distraction set here, as we just heard. Sanchez is gonna have to remain kinda under guard, maybe suspecting that there is somebody coming through. Oh, and an aggressive push up the ramp. Blackwatch takes the map. What an insane round. Wow. 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 I can't believe what we just witnessed. I think actually I have I have the scores reversed. Let me correct that. Insidious has 3, Blackwatch has 4. What an amazing last round. The noise just pushed the nerves on Rick Sanchez to get them to move and keep a little bit more on edge. Let's... Somebody clip that last 45 seconds. That was a great play. Very, very well done. And with that, we are moving to Tanker. I don't think this has been played very much in the season, let alone by either team. Let me just get everything else situated here. And we'll check those stats real quick. Insidious clearly favoring the mid and close maps here. Tanker for Blackwatch. No. Has never been played this season? Am I reading that? Yeah, they have not played this map this season. Well, interestingly, Insidious only has 1 game for Tanker, and they lost it. They obtained 1 round out of 5. Do I have the right team? Yeah, I have the right teams up. Like, this is a confusing choice, unless they have been working on it. I think we're gonna be in for a very chaotic map here, and with how these teams have been playing, it's gonna be hard to keep up. I think it's gonna be a little more difficult. We're gonna have to keep around the uplink and maybe more around the mid of the map. And if we go downstairs, it's gonna be chaos. And I was just informed that there is a 15-minute timeout. So let's check in on chat. Maybe catch the last brief moments here. Yeah, I did actually have the scores wrong briefly there, Solar Bob. Those are fixed now, as you will be so kind to remind me of. Thank you for that. And shout out to the sponsors just one more time here: HyperX, Pro2 VR, Porter Foods, Asterion, B Haptics, and VR Cover. If you don't have a VR cover, by the way, they're comfy. I think it's actually a super comfy rating for their padding. That's just really good. I've got that both pairs, the regular padding and the comfy. I just prefer to play with the comfy one. It's just a lot better for the longer playtime, so when you're getting 2+ hours kind of a thing. And I do have two more pieces of gear for sponsors here. I have a Pro Tube, I have a Mag Tube. If you are looking for straight aim and you don't have a gun stock yet, it's well worth the money. They do ship from France, so you do have to take that into account. Especially if you're in the States, but I got mine in less than a week and a half on the East Coast. and you get the muscle memory down a little bit, just like any other gun stock, really. But it does take a couple weeks worth of playing, and then your aim is and your reload speeds are not impacted at all. Your reload speeds will be basically the same as what you had before with freehand, but your aim will be much more true, much more accurate. Yeah, especially on the longer range maps. And then the HyperX mic, as I've demonstrated earlier. I put it on a boom stand that I just did my own research on. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. But this has been working really well for me after I kind of figured out how I wanted it positioned and dialed in from the OBS side. It works really, really well. I pair it with NVIDIA Broadcast, so I try to keep a little bit more of the background noise out that way. And yeah. If you have any gear from the sponsors, they do appreciate shoutouts on social media, especially tagging with Onward VRML. To be specific, Onward_VRML on Twitter, Facebook, and you will get a little bit of love back from them. So, while we are waiting for the timeouts to elapse here, it's like we have one in from Insidious drop. We are gonna probably take at least 10 minutes here. So feel free to grab a water, get yourself any sort of food, beverage, snacks. I'm probably gonna grab something myself here. I'm a little hungry. And we'll see you back here for, I guarantee you, a very intense map on Tanker. So we'll be right back in a few minutes.
One more to go.
time. He does this every day, man.
Why are you embedding him? Just
I
keep him embedded,
don't know,
Like,
bro. Man.
go. One more to go.
All right, we are back and just in time to catch Jay Welch with a flare gun right off the bat to blind any of Insidious right off the bat. Murder Cult picked as they're coming out of spawn. Paradox shooting very, very well on these small angles here. Only one of the few that can actually reach farther all the way down the map. They do pull off just in time to get killed by the same angle that K-Hunter had held there. Rambo taking down Nomad on the northern approach here, leaving Brandon all alone. Another one, Rambo on uplink, but not going after it, choosing to go after the kills and secure the area. Brandon crashing in on the uplink, just passing Golden Viking. And Rambo right in front with the tablet out! So close, such madness, just standing out in the open with Brandon right there, 3 feet away. Viking and Brandon trading at the end. Blackwatch have put up a very good fight there, but ultimately did not pull that off. Insidious takes the first point here with lots of chaos ensuing. This being very much like Cargo, I think was the reason they chose Tanker, despite having played it only once on season record. Who knows what they've been doing on scrims or challenge, or not really challenge, maybe team practice at best. Maybe a bit of an internal scrim there. But wow, what a way to start that off. So, it's a quick score check here. Brandon with 3, Rambo with 3. Paradox had the 1 kill, and Hunter paired him with that one. And Viking with a 1 and 1 there. Texas didn't see any action except for a bullet to the chest on that one. So, being now on Volk, we may see a bit more of a similar setup here, since this is a rather central uplink. You kind of have to control the center of the map as best as you can, and at least push a little bit farther to make sure nobody crosses that direct line in the middle of the spawning point, or coming in off of the spawn point. Round number 2, let's see how Insidious takes this here. We could see... I think we... Oh, it's not the uplink for it. We could see the quick spawn kill at the beginning on the left-hand side, on the north side here. There's one for Texas with down the middle. K-Hunter below gets one more there. Only a down. There's the confirm. Oh, Rambo and K-Hunter. TK'd. Insidious with a 4 versus 3 on Blackwatch with one below and one coming in on the south side. Murder Cult and Paradox looking to exchange some rounds there. Rambo ultimately does trade with Brandon down below. Texas still holding directly on the uplink. Tablet is out for the awareness. Nice throw from Nomad. That flash is going to ultimately result in being a fade off. Nomad very keenly aware. Uh-oh. Missed throw on Colt's side there. But Nomad getting down on the northern approach in the midway point. It's a 2-1. Viking is looking the window here. Not going to see Paradox coming through, but Texas...
Nice. I was going to try and trick him. High five. Yeah.
Makes this a 2-0 on Blackwatch. That TK probably hurt them a lot, despite not seeing much action on that side from the rest of the round there. But nerves are probably a bit high, especially since being map 3 and very, very close quarters. You just gotta sometimes pull that trigger when you're rounding that corner, if you don't have the quick chance to check the tablet or can maintain that awareness. So we are now down below. Go this way. This is gonna be a tight match here, a tight round with how you can approach this from 4 angles, yet really, I mean, you can get all the point your gun in the person's face in this area, for crying out loud, and still miss. So we're gonna see how the underground approach plays out. Let's go back upstairs and take a quick peek as to how Insidious is going to do this approach. Looks like one's gonna hold The late angle up top. Free fire coming out from K-Hunter on the northern side. But Vertical is also doing the same over here. K-Hunter downed Texas in the middle of all that. Maybe there was a little bit of a miscommunication as to when to actually breach this. There's the revive Nomad.
Did you kill me?
Not gonna see the action initially here.
No revive.
Enemy team does know there was a TK, but a revive down on hand there.
Got one near me.
Quick peek above. We do have a couple. Entering in the south. Uh-oh. A revive on Blackwatch. Insidious is gonna have a much harder time with his K-Hunter. More free fire coming through here. But with all these obstacles, it's not really gonna be too effective there. Rambo gets another kill on the top of the deck there. And does make their way down. Nomad and K-Hunter now looking to duke it out. K-Hunter winning that one, and Rambo finally downed, coming in here. Texas, very nice flash to the face on Brandon, but does pull back off of that in the end of it all. Insidious, 2 versus 3 here. I think Texas might just try to pull this back a little bit more in the pace. Looking at the preview, K-Hunter is coming in on this side here as well.
Watch Nomad's side, he got hit.
And as Brandon was saying that... Blackwatch just cut down. Paradox challenging that last one alive here. Is gonna have to look out for K-Hunter and Texas. Just going around the corner. Not caring too much better. But at least they don't have that cap here yet. Texas going all the way up and around. 3 minutes remaining, plenty of time for it. Paradox saves the day down below the deck here. Let's see what Texas is thinking now. Nice and easy. Any little sound that Texas gives away is going to present Paradox where they are approaching from. Uh-oh. Quick sound. Texas 1 minute 50 seconds remaining. Does have time to at least pull back and reapproach us from a new angle. I think Texas is just trying to listen for sounds there and where to approach this from. And indeed they knew exactly where Paradox was based on those footsteps. Insidious 3-0. So that was a bit chaotic here as we were anticipating. Blackwatch on my opinion, the hardest uplink to execute anything on, whether it be kills or caps, is going to have a very rough time getting down into the below deck area to get in on that room. This, while is plausible for Blackwatch to win a round and get a point answered on the board, may result in Insidious 4-0ing, which they are below Blackwatch, and this is a weak map for them. It would give them a good amount of MMR boosts. They are 14th, if I remember correctly, whereas Blackwatch is 9th. Lots of pressure here on Blackwatch on how to pull this off, but
yeah,
we do have a C4 on Murder Cult, as we can see that clacker there briefly. Rambo and Texas looking to go upstairs.
You can hear us. This is a tough match. This is a tough match.
Oh, what the fuck? Fuck, I went the wrong way. They're really spraying my left side here.
Brandon with that call out is spraying a lot for Rambo. Texas does get the first kill on Blackwatch. He was saying that went to the wrong way and they're gonna pay for it, but it seems like it might have actually worked out well for them ultimately in the end here.
Kilo another.
2 down on Blackwatch, and Texas looking to wrap around, rotate to the opposite side of Jay Welch.
1 kilo downstairs.
And Texas is finally taken down to at least make this a little bit more of a clear top region to come in on. Nobody else is up here this way. Still a 2v4, so Jay Welch and Paradox are gonna have to link up down below deck. How Jay Welch decides to do that though, with 4 minutes 30 seconds remaining. Uh-oh. Let's get back into gameplay.
Footsteps right side.
Paradox and Rambo. Uh-oh. Click. Not good for Paradox here. Rambo, if they peeked that just a little bit more, would have been able to pick Paradox off, making this a 1v4. Rambo, after all of that, is going to finally sit down there. And Jay Welch still trying to breach from the middle. I think we are hearing the comms of Insidious over the radio instead of what actually is presented by voice. They should not be able to hear that. It's more of a caster kind of a perspective that we're hearing that from. Oh! And a lack of tablet awareness results in a TK on Paradox's side, and now they're gonna have to pay for that with a 1v4. Nerves are definitely high here. Two minutes 40 seconds remaining, plenty of time, but Rambo is right around the corner looking here. Good quick pull off of for Paradox's side. Rambo charging in, only gets downed, and K-Hunter shortly behind. Flashbang is going to nail right in the face. Get the reload in real quick. Uh-oh, they missed that, the mag.
Steps? He went up, he went up.
Oh, Paradox! Clutching this up, 1v1. Out of ammo, looks like. They're gonna take some utility. This might be time for Murder Cult to reposition and take advantage of the fact that Paradox is gonna have to re-equip. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. Coming up and over Murder Cult. Those are definitely gonna be audible cues for them. .110, smoke out and distraction. Give it a little bit of audio cover. Paradox is going to come in from the eastern approach. We can still hear those footsteps on this side, though. Murder Cult's kind of torn between which way to look, it seems. And Paradox may have this angle, and Blackwatch pulls it off with a return point. Paradox clutches a 1v4. What a round. What a round. That... I personally was not expecting a 1v4 clutch on this to come all the way back, and with a TK at that. The wrong type of kill, but still was able to pull it off, especially on one of the hardest uplinks. What a great pair of teams we have tonight for this. As they were even saying, I think it was Insidious was saying, like, this is a really great match. They have a really great pair up here tonight. And it is fully recognized by both sides. Looks like we're going to slow the pace down with the round starting off right away. Taking the full 2 minutes, it looks like. Not seeing anybody drop yet. Oh, there is the bell. Let's get into the gameplay here now. And this uplink is set up for a quick pre-fire here. Right on the spot, you can see all the way down in the exit there.
Side of the building I'm on. Yep. Wait, there's three of us.
Cash is here for it, but gets pre-fired himself from K-Hunter. Very aware of how the map works with that little bit of an angle there. And right away, we have all of Insidious in the middle of the map here. Nomad, recognizing that, pulls off to regroup with the rest of the team instead of being more on the aggressive front. Seeing this a little bit slower than usual. Nobody looks down below from Blackwatch's side here, so they are leaving that approach open for Insidious to take. Nobody is opting for it though.
Smoked out that side, maybe. They might have gone off the boat.
He's in that cargo crate on the left side.
Oh, is it? 6841.
And J Welch holding, just holding still and watching that angle. Surefire way to get a kill on Volk does turn out well for them, making this a 4-4. Golden Viking might be the next one to actually try to challenge that angle here.
Scratch, one, maybe two.
That is an incorrect count. That's going to potentially hurt Blackwatch here for the awareness. And with that revive, it definitely makes it an incorrect tally here. Murdercult and Brandon right around the corner from each other with Golden Viking behind. Oh! A trade with Murdercult. Potentially getting revived here by a Golden Viking as a return revive there. J Welch is a quick pop-up. Just cutting down Insidious. Only one remaining. Blackwatch is looking to take round 2. Take their second round, correction. It looks like Murder Cult might be able to just kind of peek around the corner with this. J Welch shuts that down now. Texas on that angle does not get seen as J Welch pulls off. Nomad and Texas passing each other. No way! We end round number 5 with a trade, and Blackwatch takes another one. What a game. Blackwatch is really putting in that effort and going back to fundamentals of just holding the angles, just staying tight, don't move too much unless you absolutely need to, because they ultimately are not the ones who need to cross in front of their lasers and be the aggressors. Very nicely played, and a little bit of a humorous ending with Nomad and Texas just barely passing by each other. But ultimately Insidious is now back on the Volk side, and they have demonstrated their ability to hold uplinks very, very well here. So we're probably going to see just a few of the same positions, maybe a later angle, kind of crossing in on the green boxes here in the north. And then this is a pre-fireable one we did discuss earlier, so we might see that here as well. K-Hunter is seemingly the angle guy on the team for these pre-fire shots. And I think everybody was just looking to slow the course of the map down. So this may be another slow one, because Blackwatch has actually shown they are capable of holding back and taking it slow, or getting in on the uplink from a center map point of view and picking out people one by one. This is round number 6. These
weak ass player.
Flare is definitely being utilized here without the night vision on the way down here, it looks like. Texas holding mid-map, already picked a little bit, had to syringe there. Not going to see anything from J Welch's perspective just yet.
Are we ready for that left side exposure?
You're clearly the one hunting for that kill, and while they get one, they do end up paying for it.
Left side.
That aggression usually does assist a little bit. Depending on the situation here. On closer maps, yeah, it can help. Throw a little bit of chaos into the mix, but ultimately, it is a big risk. Murder Cult looking for this small little angle in center. And while there was a brief shot there, Nomad with an M16 gets that hit.
More smokes on it.
I do. I'm coming out. Smoke out. There's another one on OBJ, left side.
7728705.
Paradox is one on left side of you.
Clearly pressure on for getting that code and getting four
This is one to the middle. Call it up.
quicker. But Rambo on the opposite side of this barricade here.
That's one of us.
Blackwatch. 2v3 now. Nomad risking that. Oh! No way. No, that did not just happen. Its frag grenade blew up the C4 and resulted in a TK. Blackwatch 1-1. How is this so crazy? Revive comes up, Cash Crazy, not going to know what the kill count is here, is going to be walking into a 1v2. A quick peek up, and they would see the injured Golden Viking. It looks like they had the spot first, though. Just barely looks like they're out of visibility on each other. Ooh, that was a little close for Cash there. Those lasers were getting right close towards that test. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. Plenty of time just to kind of work their way forward and pick one more off. Clearly we're gonna have about 2 angles here. Uh-oh. And Cash pulls it off, making this a 1v1 again. Really moving on towards uplink. Viking is now worried about a southern push until these audio cues here. No way! No way! Cash pulls it off with a clutch and makes this a tie game. What is going on? What is happening here? A frag grenade from Nomad, killing one and taking out their C4 to TK, for then wounding Golden Viking. Inevitably getting the res there, but severely wounded from that. And then Cash Crazy pulls off a clutch and brings us back from a previously 3-0 Insidious with the phenomenal teamwork we've seen here and ability to just wipe an entire team as an individual level. Like, this is insane as to what we are witnessing. This is some good study material for all the newer teams. This is some great material to be studying how these two diamond teams, who are clearly vying to maintain their position as Blackwatch at 9 and Insidious at 14, bump themselves up above what Blackwatch has in the final 2 weeks of the regular season.
Or at least watch the window.
first. Got this. You guys just come
Talk
in
about
front.
competition.
Don't let him in.
Blackwatch now on the defense in round number 7 is gonna have to really hold this down. K-Hunter shooting at that doorway all the way in on the entry point to where Volk are sitting. Does allow for Texas and Golden Viking to advance, with Rambo to advance. They are going to run into Nomad briefly here, and Paradox. Doesn't look like anybody is watching below, nor has anybody from Insidious decided to go below.
Coming up from either right or left stairway. Over.
Night vision down. We haven't seen the flare out yet. It has been a very common thing in this map for these two teams to use. See the approach in from the Vulcan side. Heavy concentration. Was a 2-2-1 reserve. Kind of forming into a 3-2 organically here. Despite all these smokes being thrown, they really haven't advanced
Is that a friendly upstairs on the left?
or positioned too differently than what they were about 30 seconds ago. Texas is exposed in the middle here, but ultimately pushing in towards Nomad, who is getting ready based on those sounds. Nomad's gonna need to hold very, very quiet there to not alert Texas. Paradox with that longer range shot. Does make it a little bit more difficult for Insidious to get through. And Texas not checking the angle.
Left, two left.
He is a strong player. They just lost as well. This is now a 2v5 Blackwatch's favor. Rambo and K-Hunter on the opposite sides of the map, while this is small, is very, very crucial. 3 minutes remaining. Recognizing their disadvantage, they're going to have to at least link up, figure out how they want to take this. Because this is the uplink for defense. And they know that, and they're going to have to figure out how to at least surgically remove a couple here.
Oh no, left side, back barrels.
Okay.
If they get the two in the north here, they only have really one to worry about unless Nomad rotates back in out of safety. A little bit of pre-fire to try to clear out that area. Nobody's there though. Rambo pushing forward a little bit more. See how Brandon's point of view is. Really can't get seen through there. A little bit of a peek. Oh, Brandon choosing not to take those shots between the water crates. Ends up making this northern side a little bit more weak. Jay Welch is gonna have to pick this off here. And there it is. This is a 1v2 now after all of that. Paradox taken out just before Brandon.
He's on me.
Baywatch is going to end up being the one to hold the last man defense, while Nomad's still using the same spot and being very, very well known as to where their location was. Baywatch coming in for support. And a trade. Blackwatch
yeah, we
wins
fucking won that
Anchor
shit.
map
Good
number
job, Welch.
3. Here's your final score for kills there. What a map. What a map. A 0-3 turned into a 4-3. With the loss of momentum that they had there, that was a huge, huge comeback. This is going to put Blackwatch farther up in the ladder now. Probably 7 or 8, and put them closer one more week into being in the finals. And Insidious, unfortunately, is going to bump down from their 14th position. And we may see them needing to get a challenge to get back into their current 14th rank. And I can't believe what we just witnessed. That was an amazing comeback. Clearly very talented teams there on both sides, and very, very aware of how the maps work. The pre-fire zones, the audio, and the cues, exactly where people were in different rooms. Just phenomenal work. So, with that, I do believe we still have Nightfire on VRML 1. Yeah, checking. Yeah, we do. That is Strive vs Siren Snails. So we're going to do a raid here in a couple of minutes, and let everybody decide if they want to go watch that action or not. Have not been keeping track as to where they are, but I guess we will see here in a second. They are on Snow Peak with Drive up 1-0. So, thank you for coming by and watching this insane matchup. Hope to see you over with Siren Snails and Strive.